Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week. And this week, surprise, surprise, we're talking about how to be happier on Thanksgiving and beyond. I had a great question this morning. A college athlete asked, what does this have to do with softball? This was after a lesson or a session on gratitude. And my first thought was, it has everything to do with softball. Now, clearly, some of the things we talk about, visualization, deliberate rehearsal, focus, confidence, pressure, handling pressure, habits, routines, all those things seem a little bit more tangible and connected to actual performance. But gratitude may have a more important effect on our performance than all of those. Why? Because gratitude is directly correlated to positive emotion. And positive emotion is one of the biggest predictors of peak performance. I'll say that again. Positive emotion is one of the biggest predictors of peak performance. And boy, do I wish I would have kept that in the forefront of my mind every single day as a coach. I knew it. And I knew when we felt better, we played better. But I didn't act that way every single day. And that was a choice. And I would go back and do a few things a little bit different, just like all of us would. Although I'm very grateful for all the time that I had with all the athletes that I got to coach. But being grateful puts us into what Dr. Barbara Fredrickson calls broaden and build. And when we get into broaden and build, we're able to be more self-aware, be more aware of things, have a more open mind, a more open heart, which leads to better relationships. It leads to better sleep. It leads to better ability to see things that are out there, to look for the bright spots. And when we're looking for the bright spots, we can't be thinking about the negative stuff. There's plenty of negative out there bombarding us. We are built to look for threats. So we notice those things more often. But when we are looking at things through a lens of gratitude, we are constantly searching for the good. 3 ways we can be better or happier this Thanksgiving. Number 1, we can think about how much we complain. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but a new little tip that we can use, put a bracelet or a rubber band on your wrist, and be like a referee in volleyball. Every time that you complain, move that bracelet or the rubber band from wrist to wrist. And that is your cue to say, okay, I just complained. Now it's time for me to find something good that's around me. And we all know that thoughts come and go, but how we react to them makes all the difference, just like events. Event plus reaction equals outcome. If we react differently to our complaint and we then follow it up with something good, and we've got that cue of changing something from wrist to wrist, like side out to side out, we're going to change what happens next, because we know that our reaction affects pretty much everything that's going to happen next. That's one way. Number 2, Sean Achor, who wrote Before Happiness and also The Happiness Advantage, he says that writing an email of gratitude in the morning not only boosts your emotion and your attitude and everything right then, if you do it for 21 days, he found that social connection was deepened so much that it could literally change the length of your life. Why? Because social connection, long relationships, intimate, good relationships, whether they're with our partner or with our friends or our family or whomever, this has as much effect on our longevity as smoking, obesity, and heart disease, or high blood pressure. Of course, this is on the good side. Those probably reduce our life a little bit. So that's number 2. Number 3, what happened this week that you can go back and reframe? How can you look at something that was uncomfortable or unpleasant and find something good in it? We can appreciate our experiences a little bit more and take them as a learning opportunity, something that is going to prepare us for the future. I automatically come to mind of when my coach was diagnosed with cancer. Horrible, right? Horrible. But I watched her and I learned, because guess what? It happened to me. And then I had to do the same thing with my athletes. I don't know that I found it then, but I certainly know that now, that she prepared me for what was to come. And sometimes those hardest things turn into the best things. It may take us a while to figure that out, but what can we look at that's happened just recently, reframe it just a little bit to find the lesson or the way that it made us tougher, or whatever we learned to be more compassionate or empathetic or whatever it might be. How can we turn that into something good? All of these things can help us be happier It can help us feel better. It can reduce our blood pressure. It can reduce our stress levels. It can help us sleep better. It can help us build our relationships. It helps us perform better. What team wouldn't want that? So back to the question, what does this have to do with softball? It has everything to do with softball. Because as Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid said, it's not just about karate. It's about a whole and balanced life. And that's what gratitude does for us. It helps us find the bright spots, search them out. And when we're doing that, we certainly can't be complaining. We certainly can't be resentful. So much good is there. And I will not leave this without saying thank you for watching. Thank you for reading my tips. Thank you for allowing me to share information. It helps me grow. It fires me up. And hopefully it's helping you help your athletes get better too. What does gratitude and all this mindset and mental performance stuff has to do with softball or any other sport? It has everything to do with it. How we feel, how we think. If we can change how we think, we automatically eventually change how we feel, which changes how we act, which changes how we perform, which affects our results. So what's it have to do with softball? Everything. I wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving with your families. And I hope that you'll look at 1, 2, or 3 of these little things that we can do to help us be happier. Because if we're happier, we're better. If you'd like to learn more about this, go to ssbperformance.com and look at the tip from October 25th and a couple before that. If you'd like to talk more about this, email me at juliej@ssbperformance.com. Have a great week. Enjoy the turkey and be happy long after those Thanksgiving leftovers are gone.